Okay. Thank you for watching Cherie's weight loss journey. Today I'm here to talk about, you know, you play silly games and you get silly prizes, right? We have a whole population of men who want a pat on the back and a cookie, right? For being told, oh, this is great that you're not indulging in escapisms through work, sex, and alcohol and drugs. This is great, right? So the pat on the back that they want is they want things to revert back to the way that it was. And it's like, well, no, it's not going to revert back to the way that it was. And they're like, why can't it revert back to the way that it was? It's like, because, you know, it's based off of the seeds that was planted that get growed, right? The harvest are based off of the seeds that was planted, okay? And they can't understand. They're like, no, you should be able to, to be the grandmother that, my father had, the one that took care of my illegitimate children, the one that, made those, elaborate, holiday meals, the one that used to reach out, to family members and send those Christmas cards and, and made sure that everybody got a gift, right? Well, no, the nanas of today, they're like, we're not going to do that. And they can't understand, well, if my grandmother could have did it, why can't you do it? And you're telling them why you can't, right? Because back in the day, men kind of had that understanding, even if they wasn't going to be with the woman, they were at least going to send her some resources. Even if he wasn't going to be in the home, he made sure that the woman had a home, right? So what happened was the disconnect where it gets silly, right? You want women not to have any money, not to be able to work, right? But spend all of their time out and about, trying to, you know, get money, or worse, trying to have enough money just to live in a car, right? And so now you looking around trying to figure out, well, where's grandma? Where's Nana? Right? Nana's in a vehicle living in her car out at Quartzsite. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, she done ran away from reality. Right? I was listening to this guy talk about, oh, the Empress is not going to get any money. It's like, well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the real facts. What happens when the Empress doesn't have any money? The real facts when the Empress doesn't have any money is the kids end up jumping off of the porch into the swamp. Okay? The swamp is a dangerous place. They got snakes, crocodiles, malaria carrying mosquitoes. Yeah, you name it, right? It ain't nice. It ain't nothing nice, right? You don't know if even the fish in the swamp are edible. You're like, do you really want to eat that swamp fish, right? So, you didn't want the Empress to have any money. You thought that the Empress with no money could bear children who think abundantly, who think that, that the life is so beautiful. No. The children they get born from an Empress of no money bears children that are hungry. Right? And because of their hunger, they will jump off of the porch into the swamp. Okay? And you did this. You did this. Right? You were telling the kids, don't listen to your mother. Right? And you knew damn well that you wasn't guiding them into nothing good. Right? You did this, man, when you sat up there and you told these women, your mother is just a bitter old woman, right? And what did she do? She's like, oh, okay. You're going to alienate me from relationships, even with my kids. No problem, right? You just gave me a life that you have been living all of this time, which was a life of selfishness. And you're going to think that I'm going to feel bad that I'm by myself, that I've been ostracized, right? Not only was I ostracized, but I was also inflicted financial warfare upon my life to the point where I can hardly sustain myself, right? But my contributions I cannot make now because I'm financially devastated, right? No, you can't come to Nana's house because Nana doesn't have any food. No Christmas dinner, no Thanksgiving dinner. You think I'm going to feel bad about that? Nope. It's not in me to feel bad when I don't have any money. Right? Oh, you're not a pretty young thing, therefore you can't go to work. Oh, okay. Oh, your man left you because he wanted a younger woman. You shouldn't be mad and bitter over that. I'm not, But what happens is it changes the whole dynamics of our society. Okay? So now we're truly a disposable society in the most, right? Because even though you don't want to admit it, it was the women that was holding things down, right? But you blamed her and accused her of everything that she decided to bow out. Like, oh, okay, I'm the problem. Let me remove myself. And the ones who didn't remove themselves, a lot of them were just ostracized. Okay? And they were like, oh, I've been ostracized from my family, my kids, even being able to have a faithful man. No problem. So I couldn't understand how in the world that a middle-aged man was so jealous that he was like, no, the Empress. The Empress is an older woman. Probably Nana, right? The Empress was in reverse. And he was like, no, the Empress ain't gonna get no money. The Empress can't have nothing. And it's like, well, okay, she already knows she's close to the grave anyway. Okay? But these older men, they don't even know how close they are to the grave. They don't even know what kind of snake they are. Right? There's only one particular snake. I looked up the snakes, right? And it's the ball, I think it's the ball snake. The ball snake is the only snake that could live like up to 62 years old. All of the rest of the snakes, they go out quick. They die quick, right? And they're like, well, at least they won't be able to, live in their misery forever. Yeah, but, there'll be other generations, right? You'll be sitting up there in purgatory watching the whole show. You'll be there watching the whole show. And I just wanted you to know that. Right? Because I cannot believe how many times men will sit up here and say, oh, but what about the woman? What about the woman? Right? He'll call a woman a prostitute, but won't place no blame on the men that created that woman to be a prostitute. Women will resort to prostitute when they have to. Women will resort to prostitution only and if they have to. Right? Sometimes they get forced into it by a man. Right? Our whole country, we have Western movies that show that these men brought in prostitutes so that they could conquer this land and build a new nation. Think about that one for a minute. Right? How they glorified how nice it was to go and, and get with a woman in the saloon to make them feel good after they done, got all this blood on their hands. Can you help me wash this blood on my hands? Can you wash me? Can you make sure that I don't have none of this blood on my body? And yet, they claim that they have a connection with God. Right? They claim that they can speak. Right? And then when you start asking them, okay, well, what about the devil? And what about Satan? And what about Lucifer? They get the stuttering. Well, and it's like, and they pretend like they don't know these entities. Right? And it's like, well, if you don't know these entities, if you are scared of these entities, then you're definitely not of God. I just wanted you to know that. You're not. And you definitely can't speak for God. You're a liar. And the truth is not in you. Right? And it was weird how the guy was sitting up there talking about, oh, these poor kids, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you really thought these poor kids needed an opportunity and you weren't there to provide them that opportunity, and then you didn't want to help the woman who was there to try to raise the children because you weren't there, what the hell? What kind of psychosis is going on in your mind that you want to curse the woman who is the only people that are there for the children, who sacrifice her time, effort, money, nurturing, who bypass, getting high and partying, because they act like women can't get high and party all the time, but women can. They just choose to be with the children instead. We know what happens when women choose not to do that. When women choose not to be the nurturers and sacrifice their bodies for 2 decades of their young life, the children end up either on the streets or in institutions like juvenile hall, foster care, get adopted out to strangers. It ain't good. It ain't good. Why you don't want to give women the money that's needed to raise these children to be decent human beings is going to be reflected back to you when you start seeing a whole society of people who won't sacrifice a motherfucking thing, right? And one guy has said, It's a shame when you can see somebody that needs help laying on the ground and you step over them and walk on by. Right? And I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, no way people will do that. Think about it. It's happening now. Right? Why is it happening now? And I know you keep asking yourself, why is it happening now? It's because y'all done fucked over Nana. Y'all done fucked over Nana. Now we don't have no belief in humankind. Because Nana's gone. Grandpa been gone. Now Nana's following Grandpa somewhere. They both gone into the ethers. They're gone.